What you say?
I told you that it's time to start the show.
That you only meant well.
Yeah, the show's gonna do
Of
well.
course you did. What you say?
I said let's go.
That it's all for the best.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be like the best
Of course it
podcast.
is. What you say?
God, do I have to keep repeating myself?
Just what we need. You decided this.
Hold up, I
What
thought we
you
both
say?
decided to do this.
What did she say?
I said let's start the show.
Hey everyone, welcome to our namesake episode of What You Say, an OC podcast. My name is Elyse Daly,
And I am Scott Daly.
and together
We're
the Dailies.
Yes, this is the podcast where each and every week my wife Elyse and I go through the hit 2000s teen drama The OC, episode by episode. This week on the show we are covering Season 2, Episode 24, the season finale of Season 2 of The OC, entitled The Dearly Beloved. Another title for this episode is
What You Say, that you only meant well. Well, of course you did. What you say?
You know what we should have done before we recorded this episode?
What did she say?
We should have went back and watched the SNL skit. The Dear Sister SNL skit.
It's too long.
It's not. It's
too long.
perfect.
It's too long.
Perfect. Yeah, it's the season finale. It's the episode that contains the thing.
Where are we? What the hell is going on? The dust has only just begun to fall. Crop circles in the carpet,
I am.
sweeping.
You were doing pretty good. I'm pretty sure sweeping is not the word there.
Oh, sleepy.
You were doing really good though. I was impressed.
Spin me round
we're still going.
again and rub my eyes. This can't be happening.
You know what you're doing right now?
When busy streets. What?
Why do you know so much of this song?
Why don't you know every word of this song? There are no lyrics pulled up. I have not looked up any
No,
lyrics.
she's going from memory. Remember Galaxy Quest?
Yeah.
Do you know that? Do you know that's what you're reminding me of? You're reminding me of the dude from Galaxy
Okay,
Quest.
you want to know the real reason?
Need your help?
You want to know the real reason I know that song so well?
Why?
Because I was a dancer in the early 2000s. Do you know how many people tried to dance to that song
At
and do
least
routines?
5.
Oh my gosh, you go to a competition, everyone's doing it.
It's a good song, babe.
It is, it's a great song.
Yeah, so this is the episode that contains the what you say moment. I did not know
What
that.
you say?
You already did this. You can't keep doing it. You can't keep doing it. The whole episode cannot just be you singing the what you say song.
Bet it is.
It's a very exciting episode. It's the season finale. We're going to be talking all about it. But first, we got some other stuff to do. What do we have to do, Elyse?
What you say, Scott? What do we got to do?
We got to do Rosies and Thornies.
Okay, the Rosies and Thornies. That's the part of the show where we look back on the good, the bad, the Rosies, the Thornies, and sometimes the bud. As always, we're going to start with our bad.
I'm sorry, you can't just say the bud.
The bud.
Just be like, the rose, the thorn, and the bud.
Well, I went to a training. What's that last week? Oh my gosh. So long. So many days in the week, and hours in the day, seconds in the minutes.
What are you talking about?
I went to that training and it was talking. They did a rose, a thorn, and then a bud. The thing you're looking forward to in the next week.
Yeah, but
So
the thing
rose and thorn are in the past and bud is in the future.
the problem with that is we have to come up with these things every week. And if I start telling you the things I'm looking forward to in the future, I'm just taking away future roses from future me.
Unless you have so many things you're looking forward to next week.
I don't. You know my roses this week?
What?
The fucking apple.
Your rose was an apple?
No, I found something new, but up until this moment, it was going to be I ate a really good apple. That was going to be the highlight of my week is that I ate a really good apple, okay? So I can't be taking away my roses. I don't have that much.
Scott,
What?
You live a really boring life.
Can you please tell me what your thorn is?
Yeah, I hate doing the laundry. Scott.
You chastised me over my apple. The worst thing that happened to me this week is I had to clean my clothes.
I had to. No, it's not. I don't mind washing and putting them in the dryer. I just hate the folding. I think I've talked about it before. I just hate the folding.
Yeah, folding
So I'm
sucks.
trying a new system. I'm going to do my best in order to make it work.
The new system is don't leave the clothes in the dryer for a week.
The new system is I have a show, like I watch TV every night. I don't mind. Here's the deal. If I'm folding clothes while I'm watching TV, I don't mind that. But it's just when I'm like needing to do other things, or like if I want to read, or if I want to cook, or if I want to hang out with people, or if I need to run errands.
Okay, can we just rewind?
Yeah, I haven't gotten to read a lot lately. Okay, I understand
you listed
that.
3 things. You listed read. You listed hang out with friends. Those are things that nobody does anymore because of the coronavirus.
I hang out with friends.
Nah.
I do. I do.
Nobody wants to cook. They have to cook because we need food.
How about you just cook and I'll do the laundry? Vice versa.
No.
So you're going to do the laundry and I'm going to cook.
Why do we have to split the tasks like this? Why can't we just do both of the tasks?
We do a good job of both cooking.
Uh-huh.
And you did help me with the laundry.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah.
I guess we can...
Are you done with your thorn now? Is that all you had to say? It's just like I have to.
I
do
just
that
don't like the
laundry.
laundry.
Yeah, we are pretty.
Complain.
We are pretty. Both collectively, pretty terrible
We
about
both hate laundry.
taking the clothes out of the dryer.
Yeah.
I mean, and my thing will get like I'll run
Well,
out.
and here's the thing that irritates me sometimes. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. But we leave the clothes in the dryer, and then when you want to steam a shirt, you put a dirty shirt in the dryer with your dirty towel that you have just used with all the clean clothes in there.
No, I usually take all the clothes out and then I put them back in when I'm done.
Not always.
Yes, I do.
Not always, sir.
How do you know?
Because I open up the thing and I'm like, were these clean? Were these dirty? I think that they were clean, but now we got the dirty towel that was in here.
I take them out and I put them back in.
Sometimes.
No, all the time.
Sometimes.
It's not a dirty shirt. It's just a slightly less clean shirt. It's not dirty enough that it needs to be cleaned.
Okay.
It's just not fresh out of the dry cleaners.
Okay. We should take some shirts to the cleaners.
You know, I feel like every time you have a thorn, I feel like your thorn is just like a hidden bud of annoyance that you have from me.
No.
And you're just like, it's not like, you don't want to say my thorn is Scott. You're like, my thorn is laundry.
Maybe next week I'll just say my thorn is you.
Fine. Are you planning for me to be shitty to you this week?
Yeah, I am.
Fine.
I'm going to aim low so it gets better.
Well, speaking of a thorn that is actually just a way to be mean to the spouse instead of in a passive-aggressive way, my thorn is that The Bachelorette is back.
And every time that it's back, I say, Scott, that's the show that brought us together, so you just suck it up and watch it.
And what do I do?
You watch it.
And I hate it. It's awful.
But you love it.
This season,
You secretly do.
So this season, it's only the first episode's come out, and it's the coronavirus episode.
Mm-hmm.
So like they had to delay the production of the whole thing by months, and so like half the episode was talking about all these kids. It's like sitting in quarantine, in a hotel room in the La Quinta. It's really
resort, not like a La Quinta next to Denny. There's no Denny's.
It's a La Quinta. Like
there's no Denny's, Scott. Where's the Denny's?
The Bachelorette has fallen on tough times, and now everyone is staying at a La Quinta. And coronavirus has been rough on everyone, especially the Bachelorette. But apparently, like, the big news with this season is that like the Bachelorette like bails, like halfway through or something.
We think she has 4 episodes.
The weird thing that like, you know how they do we've complained about how they like spoil the entire show for you and the coming attractions, whatever. Mm-hmm. I guess they've just assumed that every single person watching the show has read the news reports about how they had to get a new Bachelorette because the Bachelorette bailed halfway through.
Well, because they already broke the news on who the next Bachelorette was.
Yeah, but it's just like but they didn't do that on the show itself. So like,
No.
it's just so weird to me that like, if you were just a person that like wanted to turn on the TV and said, "Oh, the Bachelorette is back," like I feel like you're blowing your load a little too early there. It's stupid. I don't like it.
I enjoy it.
Of course you do.
Of
It's
course I
terrible
do.
TV.
It's my new folding laundry show.
Well, if my laundry gets folded, then I support it.
Well, how about you help me fold the laundry?
I've got paperwork to do.
Yeah,
Got
sure
a lot of
you do.
paperwork. Hey, Elyse, what's your rose?
I have very much enjoyed house hunting with you lately.
House hunting?
Yes, we are looking for our new home. Our new home for the little dude.
Little dude.
Got to get him a little place to live. That way he can have some space to grow. And we've been looking for some homes, and I just really enjoy looking at houses and pretty things.
I feel like my life has like hit the fast forward button lately. So,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, here's this interesting thing about my life is I'm 35 years old, and most of my peers have already done all the things I'm doing right now, right? Like most of my peers my age that I know have children already.
Yeah.
Most of the people my age that I know own a home already. And these are two things that I have never done in my life. And just because of the way my life went and just the way things happened, I made it to 35.
Are you saying I've been holding you back?
I am not saying you've held me back. I met you when I was 30 years old, so you didn't have an opportunity to hold me back. I was already held back.
Okay. Thank you.
My point is that I feel like it's all happening like at once now. And there's part of
Yeah,
that.
it's definitely happening quickly.
There's part of that that's very scary. But there's part of that that's also very exciting because it feels like these are things that, you know, if I had written the script of my life when I was 18, that I probably figured I would have done them already. And now it's happening like really fast. And so there's something like it's like my life is playing catch up with itself. And there's something really exciting about that. And so I am enjoying house hunting with you as well. It's like we pretend to be on the show House Hunters, and that there's cameras in front of us, and so we talk to those cameras, and everyone else
I take my microphone and no one thinks it's fun.
everyone else in the open houses thinks it's really weird, especially since we're wearing masks and they can't see the smirk on my face as I'm doing it. But I mean, that's not going to stop me.
Nope.
We've seen some good houses. We've seen some not so good houses. We've seen some way overpriced houses.
Yeah.
But things are going
that
well.
one had a bigger master bath and closet.
I'm sorry, babe. I'm sorry you didn't get your giant closet.
Oh, I'm going to get my giant closet.
Well, we'll see, Elyse. We'll see.
I hope.
That actually leads pretty nicely into my rose, because at my rose this week, I want it to be a formal retraction, actually, a retractionary rose, because I listed as my thorn a couple weeks ago our landlord, and I went on a giant landlord rant about my landlord. And I want to take that back because as part of our home, we're in this really weird situation where our lease isn't up until the spring, but the baby is coming like early spring, earlier than our lease is up. And we really wanted to be in a home by the time the baby came.
That way we don't have to move with a newborn.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So we just went to our landlord and we were just like, hey, here's the deal. Wife's pregnant, want a house, timing doesn't work out. Would you possibly let us out of our lease obligation a few months early? And we heard back from our landlord today that the answer to that question is shockingly,
Yeah.
yes. They seem fine with it. And we haven't gotten the terms. We don't know if they're going to like try to make us pay for the 3 entire months rent, but they seem okay with moving our final day of our lease back to the end of January, which is something they are not legally obligated to do at all. And so they're doing it
Thank you.
out of the kindness of their own heart, because they recognize that we have lived in this house for almost 4 years. We've never missed a payment on our rent. We've called them sparingly only when it's something really big that we just literally can't fix on our own.
It made me so happy I almost cried today in my office.
So this is my formal rose retraction. I will never say a bad thing about this landlord again, because there's no reason they have to do that legally, contractually. And they're going to do it. Now, we'll see what the terms are. We'll see. I'm going to feel it's like, okay, yeah, you can leave on January, but you have to pay all remaining 3 months rent up front. Be like, okay, well, that's nothing then.
Yeah.
That's nothing. But it seems like they're going to cut us some slack. And that means that our looking at houses timeline just accelerated. So we could be moving as early as December if we find a place that we like.
Some might say. We took those Mentos. Just kidding.
We're not onto that section yet, Elyse. You jumped the gun.
I know. I'm just saying. It's like, wow, all of a sudden.
You tried to drop the Mentos into the Coke before you opened the lid. That's what you did. That's what you did there.
I like how you latched on to my Mentos.
I hate it, but it's like a virus that's infecting my brain.
It's so good.
Speaking of which,
You're gonna
let's
turn
move
into a
on
zombie.
to the episode. Talk to me about episode 24 of the OC.
So the dearly beloved. How do you say?
Beloved.
Beloved?
Yes.
My dearly beloved.
No, nobody
Beloved.
says that.
My dearly beloved. It's the 24th and final episode of season 2 of the OC. It was written by show creator Josh Schwartz and directed by Ian Toynton.
I guess like Schwartz, of course, is going to write the finale.
Yes.
I think he did that last year.
Yes.
But I'm surprised that like Toynton is our guy for big episodes now. It seems like Toynton is our standby director
Yes.
for big episodes.
And it aired, Scott, on May the 19th, 2005.
Oh yes, May the 19th be with you.
Yes. What were you doing May the 19th, 2005?
I don't know. I was a junior? No. I was a sophomore in college.
Getting ready for my sister to graduate from high school.
I was a sophomore in college, so I can actually tell you I was a sophomore in college, which means I had switched away from computer science because I didn't like programming. So I was in the business school now, and I believe I was in my business fraternity. So I'm guessing on May the 19th, it was a Tuesday. I was hanging out with my bros and my
Bros
and
before
my
hoes.
girls. No, they were there too.
But bros before hoes.
No, they're the same
Hoes
time.
before bros?
No, same time. Bros and hoes, same time.
I think one should go before the other. Okay, Scott, tell me about your overview. What do you think?
This week on the OC, Kirsten hits rock bottom after Caleb's funeral, prompting Sandy. I can't
Prompting?
read.
Beloved?
Prompting
Beloved.
Sandy to stage an intervention. Meanwhile, Jimmy Cooper returns to Newport and renews his ties with a mourning Julie, while Haley Nichol returns to the town for the funeral. Trey's girlfriend / partner in crime, Jess, bullies him into participating in a drug deal that turns into a shootout at the bait shop nightclub. Also, Ryan learns the truth about what happened between Trey and Marissa, leading to a bloody confrontation.
Yes.
I got tired of writing my own, so I just stole this from Wikipedia.
What?
Again. Yeah.
Scott.
It was a good one, though. It was a good one. All right, Elyse.
What?
The season finale. Tell me
Scott?
what you thought about the season finale.
Here's what happened.
What happened?
We got our Mentos.
Mm-hmm.
We got our Coke. Mm-hmm. We realized we needed to take this outside
We did that already, yes.
because we took the Mentos and we started to tip it into the Coke. And those little fuzzies, they were touching that Mentos. And then this week, the Mentos hit the Coke and foom. Scott,
Can I say,
this was the foom.
did you just describe bubbles as little fuzzies?
Yeah. Fizzies, sorry.
I was
Fizzies.
like fuzzies?
I'm not the
At
fizzies.
first I thought you were talking about the Mentos, and I was like, does she know what a Mentos looks like?
Yeah, I used to love eating Mentos, Scott. Did you not love the Mentos commercial and then like try and recreate it all the time with your friends?
Yeah, everyone did that.
Duh.
The Fresh Maker.
Yeah. There was a slogan. I just can't think of it right now. Man, Mentos. The
Fresh
good old
Maker.
days.
Mentos Fresh.
People don't eat Mentos
better.
anymore.
Mentos fresh and full of life.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Mentos, the Fresh Maker.
Why don't people eat Mentos anymore?
I don't.
Are they not good for you? Like,
How-
are they really bad for you?
What science are you using to determine that people don't eat Mentos?
I don't ever see people eat Mentos anymore. Tic Tacs, I see them eat sometimes.
Did you? Okay, how often are you observing people's mint candy consumption?
Scott, it's fairly often.
Weird. Why are you doing that? Are you
Do
crazy
people
candy
chew
stalker?
gum? Do people eat mints? If people eat mints, what type of mints do they eat? Icebreakers and Altoids. Those are the two big ones.
I just don't observe people eating mints very often.
It's mainly icebreakers.
I feel like this is just a thing because you're at school. Because I don't think in
Maybe because people I'm around like to have fresh breath.
I have fresh breath too. I just don't like shove mints and gum in my mouth while I'm just jaunting around in public. I think it's just this is a weird elementary school thing. What's going on? Yeah, I think it is. I think it is. I think you're just around children a lot, and so you're around a lot of candy, and so you're assuming
it's not the kids.
Yeah, it's the adults, because the reason they became teachers is because they never grew up and wanted to live in school forever.
What it is?
Yeah, they're all Peter Pans. Everyone teaching elementary school is chasing their shadow.
Interesting.
Eternally.
To the man who's never seen the cartoon of Peter Pan.
Okay, you're just like throwing out like insults. You realize I just made a great point, and you're just like, "What? I gotta attack him. I gotta attack him."
Yeah, because you never seen it.
I'm sorry, I didn't see the Disney Peter Pan. I watched.
I know,
a really cool live recording of a play
with Mary Martin.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's my Peter Pan. So.
Yeah, I don't agree with the production of Peter Pan.
You don't agree with the production. Remember that version of Peter Pan that came out not long ago where they played Nirvana songs?
Oh, yeah.
That was so weird.
It was a really bad one. They just called it Pan.
Wasn't it Hugh Jackman was Hook and he's singing Nirvana for some reason?
Yes.
Why are the pirates singing Smells Like Teen Spirit?
I don't know, Scott, but I do have to tell you something.
What?
We're here to talk about the OC.
Oh, my God. Elyse, did you like this episode?
Yes, I love this episode. Okay, so all of the season finale episodes are so good. And you thought the season 2 finale was good, Scott. Wait till season 3.
We haven't even finished talking about this one yet. Like, we got it.
I know.
I just
know. I just know.
I loved this finale. I thought this
did.
was great. I thought it brought everything together so nicely. You know, we have a lot of our old characters return. Jimmy Cooper comes back. Haley Nickel comes back. The only person we're missing is poor Lindsay. And at one point they said...
I'm sorry. We missed somebody else this episode.
Oliver. I know.
No.
I thought Oliver was going to come back.
No. I'm really upset that you didn't realize we missed him.
Oh, Zach wasn't in this episode.
Yeah, where is Zach Attack?
I guess that's just over now.
It's so frustrating.
Because like Summer is just there for... It's like they're dating again. Summer and Seth are just dating.
I know.
Again.
We'll get to that.
And then the end of the episode that features the Whatcha say. So I have to tell a story about this. So, okay. I have definitely seen the event that ends this episode before, because I remember when the Saturday Night Live episode came out and I thought it was the funniest damn thing I've ever seen. I laughed so hard. And then like someone was, but we didn't know what it was like referencing because I wasn't watching all the episodes of the OC.
You didn't know?
And someone said, oh, this is playing off a joke of the season finale of the OC. So I went and watched that scene, but it was so long ago, I just didn't remember like who it was involving. And for some reason in my head, I convinced myself it was season 3. But well, actually, we're going to talk more about this moment because it's...
I can't believe you don't even know anything about season 3, Scott.
Calm down about season 3. We're not even done with season 2 yet.
Season 3.
Okay. So we both loved the episode. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it in some more detail. Elyse, tell me your least favorite thing about this amazing episode.
So I've already talked about how much I hate Jess, and I really just hate in this episode. It just highlights how much Jess has brought down Trey, and they have like little to no relationship left other than she just shows up and demands he do things, and because I guess it's just an Atwood trait, is if a woman tells you to do something, they do it. But he just goes along with it. And he's on probation.
Yeah.
And he's carrying a firearm. And he's helping someone out with a coke drug deal. Like,
well, I mean, the honest truth is he does it because he wants to. And that's what I kind of love about Jess is that you're right that their relationship sucks so much. And there's no good reason for him to continue to like... allow her to force him into these kind of things, but he like wants to do it. Like that's, I think the tragedy of Trey is that he can't escape this life, and it's because of his own choices. It really is. But yeah, I agree. Jess sucks.
It's just frustrating, and I don't like. We don't even have much to go off of as far as Jess is concerned. And
no,
so she like all that we know is you see Jess, the music changes, and something bad is going to happen. And it's just frustrating.
Did you hear what she said at the bait shop?
No, I don't remember.
after the funeral, all 4 of our main players head to the bait shop, like to get away from the house because they need to be away from the house. So they all go to the bait shop and they're all dressed in their funeral attire. And Jess walks up to him and says,
"You guys are dressed up."
We just came from my grandfather's funeral.
Yeah. Well, he's probably pretty old.
it's like they're so interested in just making her the irredeemable monster. They don't care about anything else.
Yeah. Anyways, it just frustrates me. It's so sad.
Yeah, I mean, Trey's story, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but...
Well, the thing, like, Ryan chooses girls who bring him down, but are not as much of a bad influence. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Trey brings girls, or picks girls that bring him down and really tear him apart. You know, and that's, I think, sad.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like, there's part of me that's tempted to say, like, Ryan could have gone the same way as Trey, but I do think, like, Ryan never would have assaulted Marissa that way. Like, even at his worst.
His moral compass is stronger.
I agree. And that, I mean, but there were, like, as Trey is, like, shot and dying at the end of this episode, there was part of me that got choked up because it's just like absolute failure, right? Like, here's this kid who had this terrible life. He had a shitty dad and it sent him down a path. And, like, not to take away any of the agency for the choices he made. He obviously made them all, but it's like he could never get it right. He could never get it right. And the thing that I remember is that when Ryan everything with the drug deal happens and some, like, fucking Jess is opening fire inside the bait shop, which is the craziest fucking thing ever. And Ryan goes and confronts him the next day and basically tells him to leave. And he's packing up. He actually is going to listen to his brother and leave town. And then Ryan learns the truth of what happened and has to confront him. And
has to.
Yeah, he can't not. And we'll get to that in a bit, but
what's your thorn, Scott?
My thorn is Jimmy Cooper and Julie Nickel.
But they've already done this, Scott.
Julie, I guess.
Cooper Nickel.
Did she take Nick? She's Cooper Nickel. Yeah. So Jimmy Cooper comes back, which I was happy to see him again because I think sometimes my brain is a goldfish and I forget that I don't like characters and they come back and I'm like, oh, it's you. And then, like, 2 scenes later, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember why I was happy while you left. He basically rolls back up into town and then he's there for a good reason.
Off the juju.
I mean, he's there for a good reason. He's there to comfort his ex-wife and his daughter, who he's assuming are going through something, even if they're not quite as distraught by the death of this man as his own daughter is. He's there to comfort them. But then we do the thing where he's like, what if we try again to be a family?
We thought we'd have dinner as a family.
Okay.
And breakfast.
Uh-huh. What's going on here?
Well, your father's going to stay with us while we get settled, and then maybe after that.
If that's okay with you.
And with Caitlin coming home from boarding school this summer, we were talking about taking a family trip, maybe.
Again, if that's okay with you.
And their second daughter is coming back from boarding school, which she's been to all year, which is totally gone. But she's coming back, and the 4 of us the Coopers are going to try to be a family again. And I'm just like, ugh. You know, my reaction to this was almost exactly what Marissa's reaction to this was, where she's just not a fan of it at all. She, at the very end of the episode, she hugs her mother, which is like the first time she's done anything nice to her mother all season. But the look on her face as she hugs her mother is just like, I don't want to deal with this shit again. And that's my attitude is I don't think Julie and Jimmy is going to work again. And so we're just going to do this whole thing with Julie and Jimmy again. And I'm just like, can we, like, Julie Cooper is one of, if not my absolute favorite character on the show. And I want them to do new, interesting, fun stuff with her.
I'm sorry.
I don't want them to retread.
You have started to like the evil woman character of the show.
I know. We're going to talk about this.
Have you turned into me?
We're going to talk about this a lot on next week's episode because I really want to unpack this new development in my life that I'm not dealing with very well. But yes, I love
You've
her.
been hanging out with me for too long.
It's the Elyse factor. You're rubbing off on me. But yeah, I'm just not here for the Jimmy Julie relationship stuff. I'm just not here for it. And it's so funny that like Jimmy and Haley, like they talk to each other on this episode, but neither of them are interested in anything.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Ship has sailed.
I wish you could say the same for
Literally.
Julie Cooper, but not. So that's my least favorite part of an incredible episode is Jimmy and Julie.
If we had to pick something.
Yes, which we did by design. So let's get to the good stuff because, boy, there's some good stuff.
There's some good
Elyse,
stuff.
what is your favorite of the good stuff?
So my favorite thing, it's actually pretty sad when you think about the entire show, but we have seen it the past few episodes. Kirsten's been struggling with a drinking problem. There's been a huge storyline this season with Kirsten and Sandy, their marriage, it being solid, it being rocky, and then just the past few weeks, Kirsten has hit the rock bottom that you talked about earlier, and Sandy's trying to get her some help, and she said she was going to do it, but couldn't do it all on her own, and didn't seem like she was going to be receptive to going to a rehabilitation center. And so Sandy had he staged an intervention with a doctor from the facility that he wanted her to go to. And it was one of those moments where Kirsten was hearing from everybody. And it was just like, it's so emotional. And it was Sandy and Haley and then Ryan, and like poor Ryan. All, he was saying is he saw it happen to his mom, and he's seeing it happen again to someone that he cares about, and he doesn't want that to happen again now to someone else that he loves. And she was just like not here for it.
Yeah.
And then she turns around, and then it's Seth. After Seth had said, he was like, no, she can do it on her own. We don't need to send her away.
Well,
And
Seth thinks that his father's overreacting and this whole thing is unnecessary.
Yeah.
So he's not on board for the intervention at all.
But to have known that he wasn't on board, and then she turns around, tries to leave the room, and he's the one that's there. It was so beautiful. And I know it was going to happen, but it still makes you emotional. And I won't lie. I was a little misty. It's a little misty in the eyes. Didn't quite have anything drop down out of the eyes, but
I agree.
it was just a really well done, beautiful moment between the whole family.
Okay. Does someone want to tell me what's going on?
Your family requested that I be here today to help them lead an intervention.
What for? Why?
We are all here because we are worried that you have an addiction to alcohol. Each person here wants to share their concern for you.
Well, that's very nice of everybody, but not necessary.
Sandy, you go first.
I'm so sorry, honey. How hard this must be for you to hear. I don't want you to hurt yourself anymore.
Sandy, don't you think you're overreacting? I mean, everybody's overreacting.
Haley, please. Now you.
Keeks, you know our history. You know Mom battled it, and you know if it was me, you'd be doing the same thing.
I don't know that. All the time you were partying and doing drugs. I just encouraged you to make better choices. I didn't lock you up.
Ryan.
Oh, don't you say a word. I let you into this house.
Yeah, you did, because my own mom couldn't take care of me. Because she wouldn't get help even though I asked her to. I don't want to see that happen again to someone I love.
I don't know who you are or what you're doing here, but I am not going.
Oh, please, you gotta do this.
I agree. As someone who's participated in an intervention in the past, I thought it was remarkably accurate as far as how those things actually go. It was an accelerated version of them. Like it took like 5 minutes, where a real one takes like hours. But I think it was beautiful. And I think you're absolutely right that each and every character and the way the writers and the director set up the scene where we go character by character. We start with Jimmy, then we go to Haley, or start with Sandy, then we go to Haley, then we go to Ryan, and her reaction to Ryan is like, "Don't you say a word! I let you into my house," which is just like anyone with like weaker character than I think Ryan has would just have shut up, but he says something anyway, and then you're right that the directorial flourish to have Seth there behind her, like as she tries to escape from the intervention and have it be him. I think this is like, there's a lot of this season that I think does a really good job of connecting from the beginning to the end. And there's a lot of the season that I don't think does a really good job of connecting from the beginning to end. I think Ryan's plot line through this season isn't the best. They try to like wrap it up in something we'll get to in a second. But I think the Sandy and Kirsten plotline from episode 1 to episode 24 is consistent, and you can tell the movements they're going on and how each event led like dominoes to this very moment. And I think this as the culmination of a season-long storyline was just mwah. I loved it.
It was so great.
It was so great. And I hope, like, there's a temptation in writing, I think, when you have an addiction plotline to return to that well, because it's an easy well to return to, because for true addicts, like, you are never not an addict. You always have that inside you, and you just learn ways to deal with it, right? And so there's always going to be this temptation to return to that well. And I hope that this is not all Kirsten's plotline is for the remainder of the show. Like, I hope I want her to go through it, and I want it to be a good storyline about recovery and all these things, but I also want her to be something else. And I don't want them to like return to this well every single time. But
there's an interesting plotline next season that involves Kirsten.
Good.
From what I recall.
Good. But yeah, it was so good. They were just gonna play the whole intervention scene at some point during this, because it's just so good.
It is.
It's so good.
But that's my rose. And Scott, what's your rose?
I couldn't not pick what you say. I couldn't not.
You mean
pick
the funeral? Yeah, it was so good.
The funeral. I mean, I thought about doing the funeral actually. The only thing that's weird to me about the funeral is that Sandy Cohen is the one speaking at Caleb's funeral.
Well, who else is going to speak?
I understand
Julie?
I understand his daughter is like a drunken mess right now, so she can't speak, and I understand Julie Cooper, I guess, but like Sandy Cohen is like his mortal enemy. Like they
were getting along towards the end.
Yeah, that's fair. The funeral was fine. The end of the episode has to be the what you say moment has to be my rose, and this is when we get into, you know, the moment. So basically what happens in this episode is Marissa finally tells Summer what happened. Summer tells Seth because Summer doesn't know what to do, and Seth's reaction is, we have to tell Ryan this. We have to tell Ryan. I'm curious what you think about that choice, because like I think everyone in that paradigm knows that Ryan's going to overreact and flip out.
But he's going to overreact at all of them in addition to Trey if they don't tell him.
That's fair. I just feel like I feel like that kind of thing, like, it should be up to Marissa if he knows or not this grapevine of people. But I understand why they felt like he needed to know it, because it's his brother too. Like, it's involved. It's not just something happened to her. It's something happened to her that involved his brother.
Yeah.
But of course he flips out and he gives the speech. And this is what I meant by they're trying to wrap up this season-long Ryan arc.
All year, I have tried to be a different person. I can't do that anymore.
Wait, Ryan, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna settle this with Trey. Once and for all.
And I'm just like, have you?
No.
Have you, Ryan? Like,
no, he hasn't.
Like, I guess if I squint, I could see it. Like, you know, he started the year out trying to be the Chino boy again.
Lindsay.
And then he's been bad. Like his relationship with Lindsay is centering around like how much he doesn't fit into the society because his grandfather, adopted grandfather doesn't respect him, blah, blah, blah. But I just don't really think that's Ryan's plotline in this season. No. And so like it fell a little flat to me, but his reaction is perfect. Like him just going to flip out and confronting Trey. And Trey pulls that gun on him, and he almost walks out the door, and then he charges him anyway. And it's like, and then of course Marissa walks into the room. Trey is choking Ryan to death and picking up a phone, about to
slam him
bash him on the head with a phone. Not a cell phone, kids. This is not cell phone time. This
but
is
not
like,
a rotary phone either.
No, it's like a. It wasn't a rotary phone, but it was like a phone with a receiver. Like it was like a hotel room phone, kind of. It's
back in the day, hotel room.
It's heavy. It's heavy. It's a heavy thing, and he's about to bash him on the head with it. And Marissa sees the gun, picks up the gun, pulls the trigger, and then
You're gonna kill him.
What you say? That you only meant well, cause you did. What you say? That it's all for the best, cause it is. What you say? That it's just what we need. You decided this. What you say? What did she say?
And then she shoots him, and he dies. And it's actually like, for all the shit that SNL rightly mined from the hilarity of the scene, I think it's actually very well shot. Toynton, my boy, did a good job. Because
you think Toynton did do a good job?
I do, because
you're always so, hard on Toynton.
I think the SNL skit made a lot of fun of the fact that like he gets shot in the back and he turns to look at her, but he has this incredulous look on his face. Like, I can't believe you did that. And then as he lifts up his head, his expression changes to one of acceptance. Like he recognizes this is where my choices have brought me. Like right at the end, I felt like Logan Marshall Green really channeled this moment of like, this is what I get. And he has a single tear coming down his cheek. It's really well done. And of course the song's excellent.
What you say?
It's a really well done moment.
What you only meant well.
And then the season ends and we're forced to,
Yeah, what do you think happens,
I don't know. I mean, like, obviously I don't think Marissa's going to go to jail. I think they're going to have a self-defense thing here.
Okay.
She's
no consequences for Marissa.
No legal judicial consequences for Marissa. I think Marissa's going to be reeling with the fact that she shot a dude that also happened to be her boyfriend's brother. I think that's going to have some mental consequences for the two of them going forward, big time.
What do you think about Ryan?
I don't know. I don't think Ryan's going to take this very well.
Okay.
I don't know if he's going to be like want to run away again, run back to Chino, or maybe he's just going to. I don't see the Ryan Marissa relationship like being just
solid,
rosy going into next season.
Well, what do you think about Trey?
Well, I think he's dead. So I think he's going to pretty much be dead.
Okay. What do you think about Kirsten?
I think, the question is, I guess, whether the season premiere of season 3 starts fall of the same year or whether it starts, moments after. Like sometimes TV shows change what they want to do with that. Sometimes it's like literally picks up right where the other season left off. And sometimes they say, okay, we've gone through summer. Bless you. We've gone through summer and now.
Thank you.
And you knocked the microphone like everywhere. So I think it's going to be fall. I think they're going to have gone through the summer. And so I think Kirsten is going to be returning home from rehab.
Okay.
A summer in rehabilitation and trying to restart her life.
How do you think it's affected Sandy?
I don't know, babe.
I guess we can do all of this next week.
Yeah, let's talk about all this next week.
Sorry.
I think the point is Ian Toynton, Josh Schwartz made a hell of a TV episode in this one, and it ended perfectly. It really did.
Good.
I thought, again, I think the Dear Sister skit is hilarious, and this episode was deserving of all mockery it got. But I think the reason why it works as mockery so well is because it works on its own as well too. A great moment. What you say? We did it. I really thought this moment was in season 3. Oh, that's right. I have to tell my story. So like in the middle of the episode, I think I see a gun, right?
Uh-huh.
And I know that the what you say moment is someone shooting someone. And there's not guns that often in this episode. And so I turn to Elyse and I say, is this the what you say episode? And Elyse, in legitimately like a good fake out, like
I didn't miss a beat.
She keeps composed and she goes, no, that's in season 3. And it worked on me because for whatever reason in my head, I thought it was a season 3 event. And then 2 seconds later,
Forgot they used the song for the funeral, guys.
2 seconds later, they used this song for the funeral. An earlier part of the song, the part that Elyse sang for like a minute and a half. Yes, that part. And so I'm like, okay. So I just look at her and I'm like, okay, so this is the Whatcha say episode.
Way to spoil it.
Oh, 5
It's okay.
years,
It's fine.
15 year
It's
later
fine.
spoilers.
You don't know about season 3.
Nope, I have know nothing about season 3. I know nothing. I don't know if there's no Whatcha says.
You know who Cam Gigande is?
No,
The actor?
no.
Oh, this is where I realized I really like him.
Okay. So there's gonna be new characters next season.
Yeah.
Can I? No, we'll talk about this. I keep wanting to spoil stuff that we want to talk about next week, so
Yeah,
I'll save that till next week. Okay, so that's it for Rosies and Thornies.
Yep. We're ready, Scott. Come on, Scott. Tell me about the style in the episode. Hey, hey, hey. Come on, Scott. Tell me about the funeral chic looks we got here.
Okay, so I only have 2 because the boys are just wearing black suits.
Suit.
They're not wearing tuxes
Yeah,
to a
sorry,
funeral.
suit.
They're just wearing black suits. But I want to talk.
Oh my gosh. We're going to get little dude a super swanky suit.
Okay, you got to stay focused. We're not talking about our baby right now. We're talking about
But
our other baby.
you're picturing
the
it
Orange
right now.
County. Yes, of course I'm picturing
It's
it.
soup's cute.
You're out of control.
Sorry.
Once upon a time, Elyse was disappointed to learn that she was having a son instead of a daughter, and then she realized all the things that she could buy him.
We're just going to name him Ken.
No. I want to talk. So I want to talk about funeral attire, and I want to talk about Kirsten Cohen, because they do some interesting things with Kirsten. So first of all, they've got her wrapped in this shawl, this black shawl, and it's like it makes her look way older than she is. They do a really good job of making her seem like a fucking wreck in this episode.
She looks hungover.
She looks hungover, and she looks like skinnier, and like she looks like she's wasting away, and she's draped in this black shawl that like completely hides any of her body. And they gave her do you know what is the name of that show with those that married couple, John and Kate +8? You know John and Kate +8?
Yeah.
She's got Kate hair. They gave her the Kate hair.
I didn't pay that much attention to that
Okay,
show.
well,
but
she-
I'll take your word on
It's
it.
basically like the Karen hair, what became the Karen hair.
Okay.
She's rocking Karen hair. So
It's
her
not
hair-
great. Yeah.
It's awful. She looks terrible. And of course her father just died and she's an alcoholic. So like it's not like I'm saying, ooh, way to
And
not
the
look
last thing she said to him
fashionable.
is that he was going to die alone.
Yeah, she's not doing well with that at all.
No, she's not doing great at all.
On the other hand, the widow herself, Julie Cooper.
Not in all black.
So first of all, early in the episode, she goes into Marissa's room to borrow a dress from her daughter because she doesn't have a black dress that works. And the dress that she's rocking, it looks like a maid outfit. It looks like a French maid outfit. It's got it's black, but it's got like white lacy around the
Trim.
top. Yeah, the trim of the top, the booby trim. The booby trim is like this white lacy stuff.
That was also very trendy in the early 2000s.
I'm sure it was, but it looks like a maid outfit. Look at this picture
It's
and
just
tell
because
me.
it's black and white.
Look at this picture and tell me she doesn't look kind of like a French maid. You can't. See, you can't. You can't, because you know I'm right. She's a French maid, but she's a French maid that's also banging the owner of the house because she's rocking the biggest fucking diamond earrings I've ever seen. Super extravagant diamonds.
Chandelier earrings.
Yeah, they're ridiculous. And her hair is, I don't like her hair. I don't like her hair in
A
this.
side pony.
Yeah, I
Low
don't
side
like it.
pony.
Why isn't everyone dressing their nicest to go to this funeral?
I don't know.
But that's all I have for this week. Everyone
Okay,
else is wearing.
Not bad.
I just couldn't get over the maid outfit. She looks. I don't understand why you're like put a feather duster in her hand, and you're like, "Yup, maid."
Well, you also like if she were, you could see her waist down.
No.
Because that's the only place that there's white
No, there's
trim.
more. It's around. It's around the skirt.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
No.
I'm telling you, she inadvertently borrowed Marissa's Halloween costume.
Sure. Not skanky enough for Marissa's Halloween costume.
Do you think Marissa would wear a skanky Halloween costume?
Do you think the sky is blue?
Do you think Summer would wear a skanky Halloween costume?
Yes, you saw her wear her Miss Vixen outfit.
Okay, but that's different.
No.
So, do you think first season Summer or second season Summer is more or less likely to wear a skanky Halloween costume?
Are we going to talk about that this week or next week?
Fine. Fine. Let's move on to relationship status.
Okay. First up, Sandy and Kirsten Cohen. Last week they were at a 5 out of 10. Sandy recognizes that his wife needs help beyond what he can offer, so he enlists the help of family and a rehabilitation facility. Kirsten isn't thrilled with the idea, but recognizes that she needs help to save their marriage and family. They know it's going to be hard to be apart, but they know it is what is best for them both. We're going to bump them up to an 8 out of 10.
So they finish this rocky season on a pretty high note. I mean, for the relationship-wise.
I think they both made sacrifices for the betterment of their relationship and family in the end.
Sure.
And it looked like they were sad to be apart.
Yeah.
But they knew it was what's best.
Yeah. I mean, I think the moment that really got me was when Sandy is meeting with the rehab doctor early in the episode. And he's talking to him, and then he's like, "You know what, Doc? I think I might be overreacting." And I loved that they put that moment in the show because it shows, you know, he's not totally sure this is the right move either. He just feels like he doesn't know what else to do. And I love that doubt that they put in him. I really do. And I love how, like, he's not sure, because she echoes that statement a little bit early in the episode. When he first confronts her with this, she says, "Don't you think you're overreacting a little bit?" And that ties right into his insecurity, where he does kind of, but he still thinks this is the right thing to do. I love their marriage. I really do. You know, warts and all. I think it's a great marriage.
I didn't have a wart coming in on my thumb. You remember how I was nervous that was going to happen?
Yeah.
I have no wart on there.
Did you? Okay. Is that something you said on the show?
No.
So you're just
I'm just sharing with
update
you.
for our listeners.
I thought last week I was getting a wart on my thumb, and I've never really had warts before, so I was kind of, like weirded out. Why would I be getting a wart? But I think we're in the clear, guys.
So
no
Summer
wart for me.
and Seth. Last week we gave Summer and Seth a 5 out of 10. Summer chose what?
Did I?
Summer chose Seth, stands by him.
And stands
by him during this difficult time when he lost a grandparent. He was so close to, quote, Summer says he was not close with his grandfather.
No, and she knows that.
She trusts Seth enough to spill the beans about Trey and Marissa's secret. They seem to be on good terms. Yeah, there's that part early in the episode where she comes over with Princess Sparkles, and the two horses have a bonding moment while the two people repair their relationship. It's almost as if, like, they just didn't have time to really put a cap on the whole Trey, the whole triangle thing.
Yeah.
And so either it's done or they're just saving that for next season. But for now, all seems to be good with Summer and Seth, so we're going to give them a 7 out of 10.
Yep. Next up is Ryan and Marissa. Last week they were at a 4 out of 10. Ryan and Marissa seem all right too. They hang out at the funeral reception and at the bait shop. Ryan goes full Mentos when he realizes that his brother did something bad to his girl. 6 out of 10. And yes, we're going to coin the phrase, he goes full Mentos.
I'm glad we've coined this phrase now.
Yeah.
So we have Trey and Jess. I get the best couples. Last week we gave them a 2 out of 10. Jess is bad news, and they seem to have less of an emotional relationship, even less of a physical one. And Jess is just using Trey for her dirty work. Not good, Jess. Now, interestingly enough, Elyse has left this relationship as a 1 out of 10 when one of the two people is dead. So,
But she is still around. Scott can be wreaking havoc in the afterlife for Trey.
she's going to be wreaking havoc in his afterlife?
Yes.
So his hell is just having to hang around with Jess all the time.
He's been in hell the whole time. Okay. Last up, we have Summer and Zach. Last week, they were at a 1 out of 10. And poor Zach, Summer chose Seth, and he didn't even make an appearance in the last episode of the season.
Ouch.
0 out of 10.
So again, Zach gets
The boot.
get booted out of this whole trinity, and he's got a lower score than Jess and the corpse.
Maybe we could take Jess and Trey off.
No, not yet. We have to
Okay.
make sure he's dead. Because, I mean, I guess you could make the argument like that suddenly it's like, oh, he's in critical condition at the... I think he's dead. He certainly
Maybe
seemed...
Jess kills him.
He certainly seemed to die.
Okay. Well, that's all that we have for the relationships this season.
Yeah, there's not an episode next week of the OC, but there is an episode from Whatcha, because as we've been hinting towards the entire episode, we're going to do our whole like season 2 overview thing. We did this with season 1 last time. We're going to do it again with season 2, and we look back on the entire season of the show
Hooray.
and talk about our favorite parts, and talk about what I think is going to happen in season 3.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to do. And now it's time to go, but before we go, we have another episode of our award-winning advice section of the
yes.
podcast titled
I won the Mentos last week.
Dear Elyse.
Yes, please read.
All right, this is another piece of relationship questioning off of the relationship advice subreddit. I have not put any names in here, but here we go.
Do people put their names?
They put their Reddit account names, so they're not their real names. Dear Elyse, I am in need of some advice about my current relationship with my girlfriend. We are both currently 16 years old and have been together since January. For a while, I have loved her, and she has loved me back. But recently, I have been thinking about a relationship more. I had never really liked her friends, which I have expressed to her multiple times, which of course she hasn't taken too well, too. Whew. I like hanging out with my friends online frequently, but she gets quite upset as she doesn't feel I spend enough time with her. I feel different to her, as I think texting her throughout the day and spending 3 or 4 days a week with her after school or on the weekends is enough time for us. I also find myself apologizing to her frequently for very simple things I have said/done that she has gotten upset about, and I don't feel should be upsetting in the slightest. I really don't know what to do right now, and any help would be appreciated. Thanks.
Okay.
Look at the little babies with their little baby relationship.
I'm gonna make this real simple for
Okay.
him.
Okay.
Okay.
Do it.
Dumper.
I love it. I love it.
Right?
Why?
Well, the deal is when you're in high school and you're like learning about relationships, you want to learn about, yes, how to treat someone in a relationship, but also learn about yourself too.
Yes.
And so like what he has realized is it is very important to him to be able to have someone that I'm in a relationship with that I get along with, not just that person, but with their friends. And so if that's something that's important to you and you're not able to do that, you're 16 and you have the whole rest of your life. So you know what? End this one. Take some time, figure out all that you learned, and then move forward and grow and be better in the next one.
Go get some Mentos, drop them in some Coke.
Get some Mentos, get some Coke, put it in your mouth, swish it around, and then go bleh, right in her face.
Okay.
Right? I mean, like, yeah.
Yeah.
She's putting like unrealistic expectations on him too. He's spending 3 or 4 days a week after school with her and the weekends.
Well, I don't know if it's fair to say that her expectations are unrealistic. I think it's more fair to say that their expectations for the relationship are not aligned, right?
Ah, yes. There you go, Scott.
That she is a type of person who wants more constant contact. He seems like a more independent person who likes to be around her, but also likes to have his own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it is important that you get on the same page with those kind of things.
Yeah.
And you're right. This is 16. You're 16 years old. This is probably your first relationship ever.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to work out anyway. But let me give you some life advice.
Yeah.
If you don't like your girlfriend/wife's friends, don't tell her that. What do you think? Do you think she's going to react well to that
Scott,
piece of information? What?
Do you like my friends?
I love your friends.
All of my friends?
I love your friends.
Yeah, I don't really like all yours.
Which one of my friends do you not like?
I can't say it. It's on the...
Tell me.
No. What if they're listening right now?
Do you really have friends of mine that you don't like?
Yes.
Oh
but
my
we
gosh.
don't see them anymore.
Huh?
We don't see him anymore. So you know exactly who I'm talking about.
I wouldn't even consider that person a friend, but I know who you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah, like I think actually and if it's going to be like a relationship that lasts and not just like some high school thing, like I think your friends getting along and you getting along with their friends and vice versa is
that's
pretty important.
Really important.
And if
especially because your friends are influential over you. So
Yeah.
if you don't like those friends and that's who she's choosing to hang out with, that's who she's going to be like. And so you're going to be having a girlfriend that is slowly becoming more like the people that you hate. Ooh, not good.
Yeah. I think dump her is the right move here. I think maybe before you give her the axe, maybe just like have a conversation that's basically like I feel like every one of these advice things that I read, and I've been reading a lot of Reddit advice, picking the right ones. I feel like my response to every one of these things is you should be having the conversation you're having with Reddit with your significant other.
Yeah.
Like the things you're expressing right now, you should be talking to your girlfriend about. And I think that's just generally true. Yeah. And so like tell her, be like, hey, like I dated a girl in high school that wanted to be on the phone with me from the time we both got home from school till 9 o'clock at night.
Oh.
And I was
Scott, how are you supposed to live your life?
You aren't but look, I was so desperate to be in a relationship because like being in a relationship was like social status, right? Like you've done it, you've accomplished it, you have a girlfriend. That I didn't enjoy it, I didn't like it, but I did it and I regret it. So yeah, if you are not happy in the arrangement that your girlfriend is demanding of you, you should not be in that arrangement anymore.
Yeah. You do you, man.
Don't keep dating someone just because you want to be in a relationship.
Yeah,
That's
you
the
got
dumbest.
friends online. Just be
hang out with your dudes. Play
with your
Fortnite.
friends.
Play some Fortnite, dude.
Enjoy it while you can.
Yeah.
When you get married, it's no more friend time.
Yeah. When you get married, you don't have fun anymore.
No, it's just awful. You should record podcasts and pretend like you have conversations with each other.
While your wife pets the dog, what is Penny doing right now?
I don't know. She just really wants out and wants a lot of attention. So I'm just going to, give her some.
All right. Well, that is it. That is all the time we have for you this week. If you like this podcast, you can check it and all of the shows we do over at our website, www.doofmedia.com. Elyse,
also, they could consider donating over at patreon.com/doofmedia so that we can continue to get funding to do all of these wonderful shows.
Yes, absolutely. And if they donate at the $5 level or above, guess what they get?
What do
They get access to our monthly Doof and Chill session, which is where we spend just a couple of hours each month hanging out with our patrons. You know what we're doing this Saturday for our monthly Doof and Chill session?
No, what are you doing?
We are doing Are You a Doof of the Dark? We're going to be telling spooky stories over stream for a couple hours.
Original spooky stories?
Some are going to be original. Some of our members are writing original spooky stories. I think Matt is. Some are just going to be reading stories. That's probably what I'm doing because I know I'm not good at stories.
Are we going to practice you reading the story? That way it's super spooky? Or do you not need to practice in front of a person? Scott, I think you need to practice your spooky voices. Ooh. Like, when are you going to do that in there? Do you have that planned out?
No.
Why are you speaking? Do you have your scary voices picked out?
No, I think I'm just going to use you for all my Foley work. Just have you standing by, waiting to drop some voices in there.
Scott, you got to get all these things figured out in practice before.
I know. But anyway, that's this Saturday at 9:30 p.m. Central Time. So you can sign up for our Patreon right now and get access to that. And you'll get access to like a backlog of like 2 years worth of these monthly events where sometimes we play games, sometimes we write stories, sometimes we just interview members of our organization. It's just a fun time where we get to hang out for a couple weeks, couple hours every month. And we enjoy it. So hopefully you will too.
Yeah.
Elyse is going to read a scary story too. She doesn't know that, but she is.
Guess I am. I'll use all the good things on my story and leave you with none. So if you happen to be listening to this via Apple Podcasts, you can go over and give us a rating and a review. We'd much appreciate that. That way people can find it and enjoy it just as much as you are.
All right, that is all for us this week. We will be back next week with our recap and wrap up of season 2 of the OC. Only 2 seasons to go.
Yep.
And then Gilmore Girls starts.
Really only 1 season to go. Season 4 is not good.
We still have to watch it.
Do we?
Yes.
Okay.